$1,200 per household. No vote. Wait your turn, ma'am. The community center smells of floor wax and stale coffee. 30 people sit in cheap folding chairs. In the back row, a woman slowly lowers her hand. She's been raising it for 10 minutes. Her 9-year-old son sits beside her, doing math homework on his lap. Denise Carter, 36, single mom, office administration manager at a logistics company. She's lived in Ridgeview Commons for 4 years. She's attended 18 HOA meetings. She's been given the floor exactly 0 times. At the front of the room stands Gerald Price, 61, HOA president for 8 uninterrupted years. Gerald Price, the kind of man who treats 80 townhomes like his personal territory. A retired corporate vice president who calls himself chairman and means it completely. He doesn't talk to his neighbors. He addresses them. He adjusts his microphone. The board has made its decision. Denise Carter sits in the back row for 2 years. 18 meetings she raises her hand. 18 times she gets ignored. But at the 19th meeting, she doesn't raise her hand. She walks to the podium, sets down a 3-ring binder bristling with sticky notes, opens it to a tab marked Article 4, Section 2. She doesn't ask for permission. She doesn't wait for her turn. Gerald Price has been president for 8 years. His presidency lasts 14 more minutes. That binder? It took 6 months to build. 1 kitchen table, 1 highlighter at a time. 18 meetings, 0 turns. So she stops asking. Hello, everyone. Last night, an anonymous source sent me this story attached to a single line. Read this before you go to sleep. I almost scrolled past it. The title sounded like legal fiction. But then I hit the numbers. $1,200 assessments, 40% increases, 80 homes run by 1 man, and I realized this wasn't fiction. This was someone's life. This story has been shared so widely that one person immediately requested their own community's election records after reading the 3rd paragraph. This story isn't just viral, it's making people act. So who is Denise Carter? What did she actually find in those 47 pages? The answer starts with a foster home she never called home. If you love stories where the quietest person in the room delivers the loudest checkmate, subscribe to the channel and tell me in the comments, have you ever had to deal with someone who thought rules only applied to everyone else? Denise Carter doesn't grow up with a home she can depend on. From 8 to 17, she moves through the foster care system. Group homes, shared rooms. Home is wherever they point her. She puts herself through community college, works reception, then admin assistant. Now, she's an office admin manager, schedules 200 employees across 3 shifts, handles compliance audits. Her desk, color-coded folders, labeled shelves, everything in its place. Her boss says Denise doesn't miss details. Ridgeview Commons is the first home she actually owns. Mortgage approved at 32. She sits in the bank parking lot, hands gripping the steering wheel, sobbing. Marcus Jr., 5 at the time, asks why she's crying. Denise whispers, because we're home, baby. 4 years later, Marcus Jr. is 9, loves his school 3 blocks away. Denise loves the quiet streets, the kids playing, the community pool. But then, the meetings. 18 meetings over 2 years. Every time she raises her hand about the broken playground fence or the pool schedule, Gerald cuts her off. We'll address that later. That's been noted. She sits back down every time. The same way she sat back down in foster care. At work, she runs rigorous compliance audits. At board meetings, she can't get 3 minutes. Denise Carter has managed compliance audits for 6 years. She's never audited the people running her own community. That's about to change. Gerald Price turns Ridgeview Commons into a kingdom. A 5-member board governs 80 townhomes. His system is simple. He personally appoints 3 members, Dale Henderson as VP, Sandra Keys as secretary, Robert Liu as member-at-large. Every time a seat opens, Gerald announces the replacement. No nominations, no vote, no approval. He declares, the board has selected, and moves on. Carol Bennett is the only legitimately elected member. In 4 years, she votes against Gerald exactly once. She loses 4-1. She stops trying. Then comes the financial abuse. Dues jump from $180 to $252 a month, a 40% increase. Board vote only. Not a single homeowner ballot. Then a special assessment, $1,200 per household for reserve fund replenishment. About 40 households pay. Over $47,000 collected. Anyone who speaks up gets crushed. Mr. Torres, 55, raises a parking issue 3 years ago. Gerald cuts him off mid-sentence. That's been addressed. Torres sits down, never speaks at a meeting again. I learned my lesson, he says. The Washington family votes against the $1,200 assessment. Gerald looks them in the eye. That vote is advisory only. It isn't. The bylaws say binding, but the Washingtons don't know that. They give up. 80 homes, 5 board seats, 3 of them handpicked by one man. And the founding document that could undo all of it sits in a filing cabinet nobody has opened in 6 years. Gerald Price holds power on one assumption. Nobody reads the bylaws. After the third meeting, Dale Henderson, the VP, catches Denise in the hallway. Friendly tone. Hey, I hear your concerns about the playground fence. Those broken slats are a real safety issue. I'll bring it up at the executive session. Give us some time. Denise thanks him. She believes him. Meeting 4. Playground isn't on the agenda. Denise raises her hand. Gerald. Moving to new business. Dale's eyes drop to the table. Meeting 5. Still nothing. Denise finds Dale afterward. Did you bring up the playground? Dale looks away. We ran out of time. Next quarter, I promise. That next quarter was 6 months ago. The slats are still broken. Marcus Jr. plays there every day. The system doesn't just ignore Denise. It uses her patience against her. After meeting 6, the one where Gerald rams through the 40% dues increase, Denise walks to her car. Her fist closes around her keys so tight the ridges press into her palm. A tap on the window. Mrs. Watkins, 72. Original homeowner from 1998. White hair, reading glasses around her neck. She's holding a thick manila envelope. Denise, how many meetings is that now? 18. And how many times has he let you speak? Denise looks at her. None. Mrs. Watkins hands her the envelope through the car window. These are from 1998, the original bylaws of Ridgeview Commons. Nobody reads them anymore. She pauses. Maybe you should. Denise takes the envelope, opens it right there in the car. 47 pages, typed. Original signatures on the last page. She reads the first page, then the second. By page 5, she's sitting straighter. 47 pages, 1 kitchen table, and a woman who hasn't missed a detail in 6 years of compliance audits. Pause. If someone handed you a 50-page legal document that controls your neighborhood, would you read it, or flip through it and hope someone else takes care of it? Month 1. Denise's kitchen transforms. Every night after Marcus Jr. falls asleep, she spreads the pages across the table. Coffee, highlighters. She doesn't skim, she reads line by line. First discovery. Article 7, Section 3. Special assessments shall require an affirmative vote of no less than 2/3 of all homeowners. She rereads it. That $1,200 assessment? Gerald held a board vote. 5 people deciding the wallets of 80 families. No homeowner vote was ever held. Second discovery. Article 5, Section 1. Increases exceeding 15% require homeowner approval. He raised dues 40%. No homeowner vote. Another violation. Third discovery. Article 9, Section 4. The board shall provide an annual financial report to all homeowners. In 4 years of living here, Denise has never seen one. She buys a white 3-ring binder. First tabs go in. Pink for violations. The kitchen table hasn't held dinner in 3 weeks. Denise eats standing at the counter. Month 3, she digs deeper. State statutes, Robert's Rules of Order, legal forums. She picks up the phone and calls Mrs. Watkins. I read the bylaws, Mrs. W. They broke 6 rules before breakfast. Mrs. Watkins. I knew they would. How many now? Denise. 10. She calls the state HOA ombudsman's office, asks about the special assessment. The response. That's a violation of your governing documents and state code. Homeowners can challenge it. Can, not will win. Nothing is guaranteed. Then month 4. 2 a.m., Article 4, Governance, Board of Directors. Section 2. All members of the board shall be elected by the homeowners at the annual meeting of the association. Elected, not appointed, not selected by the existing board. Elected. Denise pulls 5 years of annual meeting minutes. Sandra Keyes, appointed by Gerald, February 2021. Dale Henderson, appointed by Gerald, January 2020. Robert Liu, appointed by Gerald, August 2022. No election held, no nominations taken, no votes cast. 3 of 5. 60% of the board. Never elected. They're sitting in seats that don't belong to them. She calls the ombudsman again, reads Article 4 over the phone. Ma'am, if what you're describing is accurate, those board seats were never legally filled. Any decisions made by an improperly constituted board could potentially be challenged. Denise picks up a pen, writes on a yellow sticky note, sticks it to the binder cover. 6 words, Article 4, Section 2. But exhaustion catches up. 4 months of late nights. Her work performance slips. Then the worst moment. She reaches for her coffee. Her elbow catches the binder's edge. It crashes to the floor. 47 pages, tabs, sticky notes, scattered across the kitchen tile. Marcus Jr. wakes up. He walks into the kitchen in his pajamas, kneels down, starts picking up the pages and handing them to her. Mom, why do you read these boring papers every night? Denise kneels to his level, holds his face in both hands. Because if I don't fight for what's right, nobody else will, baby. Her hands shake. She stares at the papers on the floor. She's not a lawyer. She's an admin manager. What if she's wrong? What if the whole room laughs at her? She bends down, picks up the pages, one by one, re-tabs, reorganizes. She writes another sticky note. Now it's my turn. Annual meeting, Thursday, March 12th. Gerald Price prepares an agenda. Budget, landscaping, pet policy. Denise Carter prepares 14 tabs, 47 highlighted pages, and 1 sentence she's rehearsed 30 times. Month 5. Denise uses her homeowner right under Article 9 to request full financial records. The board drags their feet for 3 weeks. After she sends a written request citing state statute, CCing the ombudsman, they reluctantly provide limited records. Denise opens the spreadsheets. Logistics and budgets are her language. She stops at one line item. Ridgeview Maintenance Solutions. $3,200 per quarter, $12,800 per year. For a community with a small lawn and 1 pool. She searches the company. Registered address, 413 Maple Court. She checks the neighborhood map. That's Gerald's next-door neighbor. The company was registered 7 years ago, exactly 1 year after Gerald became president. She cross-references every expense. Pool repair, $4,200. Fence repair, $3,800. Parking lot resurfacing, $8,200. All funneled through Ridgeview Maintenance Solutions. 300 to 500% above market rate. More green tabs go into the binder. Then the discovery that makes her stop breathing. Right there in the records. Gerald Price, 3 months behind on his own dues, $756. Notation, late fees waived, board discretion. The man who fined Mr. Torres for being 1 week late waives his own penalties for 3 months. The man who hasn't touched his own bylaws in 8 years is about to face a woman who's read them 47 times. Thursday evening, March 12th. Denise leaves work at 5, picks up Marcus Jr., cooks dinner, calls her mom. Mom, I'm doing something tonight. Mom, what kind of something? Denise, the good kind, and the scared kind. She puts on a blazer, the one she wears for company audits, picks up the binder. Marcus Jr. stays with the neighbor. Mom, why are you dressed up? Denise smiles. Because tonight I'm going to work, baby. Just a different kind. She drives to the community center, parks, sits in the car for 90 seconds, hands on the wheel, fingers trembling. She opens the binder one last time, sees the sticky note. Now it's my turn. Gets out, binder under her arm, walks in. 7:58 p.m. Denise sits in the back row, same seat, same quiet demeanor. But tonight, that binder on her lap feels heavier than anything she's ever carried. Gerald Price opens the meeting at 7:30. Budget review, landscape renewal, 50 homeowners present, more than usual. Mrs. Watkins has quietly spread the word. You'll want to be there tonight. Any questions before we move to new business? Gerald asks. Denise stands. She doesn't raise her hand. She doesn't wait. She walks from the back row to the podium. 8 rows of chairs. Her shoes tap the tile floor in steady rhythm. 12 seconds. Every head turns. The thud echoes in the silent room. She flips it open. Dozens of tabs fan out. Pink, yellow, green. 6 months of research compressed into one object. And it's opening in front of everyone. Gerald raises his eyebrows. Ms. Carter, comments are limited to 3 minutes. Article 11, Section 1. Denise interrupts, her voice perfectly calm. Any homeowner in good standing may address the board on any matter pertaining to governance without time restriction at annual meetings. This is an annual meeting. I am a homeowner in good standing, and I have matters pertaining to governance. Gerald's mouth closes. Mr. Price, I have one question. Actually, 14, because I read the bylaws. She cites them, article by article, flawless. Article 7, Section 3. Special assessments require an affirmative vote of at least 2/3 of all homeowners. You held a board vote. 5 people decided the wallets of 80 families. That assessment is valid. Article 5, Section 1. Dues increases exceeding 15% require homeowner approval. You raised dues 40%. No vote was held. That increase is unauthorized. Article 9, Section 4. Annual financial reports shall be distributed to all homeowners in 4 years. I've never received one. 11 more violations, dates, sections, cross-references. And now, Article 4, Section 2. All members of the board shall be elected by the homeowners at the annual meeting. Mr. Henderson, how were you selected? Dale blinks. I was appointed by whom? By the board. Was there an election? No. She turns. Ms. Keyes, same question. Sandra shifts. Gerald asked me to. Asked, not elected. No. Denise looks Gerald straight in the eye. 3 of your 5 board members were appointed, not elected. Per Article 4, Section 2, those positions are void. This board has been improperly constituted for 5 years. The room gasps. Gerald stands, face red. Now wait, we have always acted in this community's best int. Denise doesn't raise her voice. She lowers it. You told me to wait my turn for 2 years, Gerald. I waited. I read. And now it's my turn. Silence. Then one clap, then another. Mrs. Watkins, front row, stands. Denise calls for a motion to declare the 3 appointed seats vacant and hold an emergency election. Mrs. Watkins seconds it. The vote, 47-12, in favor. Gerald sputters. You can't just... Article 4, Section 6, Denise announces. Vacancies shall be filled by election within 30 days. I'm calling for nominations now. Mrs. Watkins nominates Denise Carter for president. Mr. Torres, speaking for the first time in 3 years, seconds it. No other nominations. Denise Carter is elected president of Ridgeview Commons HOA. Gerald Price picks up his printed agenda, folds it, puts it in his jacket pocket. He leaves the podium and walks quietly to the back of the room, sits down in the exact seat Denise just vacated. Not a word needed. The irony completes itself. Dues drop from $252 back to $180. The $1,200 assessment, fully refunded. Gerald Price gets cited for 3 months of unpaid dues, $756. No more board discretion waivers. Sandra, Robert, Dale, removed. Dale moves out of the community within 2 months. The contract with Ridgeview Maintenance Solutions is terminated and referred to the State Attorney General's office. 8 years in power, 14 violations, 3 fake seats, 47 pages, 6 months. 1 binder. 2 weeks later, the playground fence gets fixed. Cost, $340 from a licensed contractor. Gerald's Ridgeview Maintenance Solutions had quoted the same job at $2,800. At her first meeting as president, Denise opens with a slight smile. Good evening, everyone. Before we begin, I'd like to confirm that all board members present tonight were properly elected, per Article 4, Section 2. Just checking. The room erupts in laughter. Gerald, back row, does not laugh. Next meeting. Mr. Torres raises his hand. Denise calls on him. Yes, Mr. Torres. Torres pauses. He's not used to being called on. Thank you, he says. Then he asks about the parking issue. Denise places the binder in the center drawer of the HOA president's desk. She doesn't take it home. She leaves it there. Because the next person who sits in that chair needs to read it too. Saturday morning, Marcus Jr.'s soccer game. Denise sits in the bleachers, coffee in hand. Marcus Jr. scores, looks at her. She stands, cheers. Another mom sits beside her. Hey, my kid says your kid says you're the HOA president now. Denise laughs. I guess so. How'd that happen? Denise sips her coffee. I read the bylaws. Mrs. Watkins, sitting a few rows over, adjusts her reading glasses and smiles. If this story makes you want to dig out your own community's bylaws right now, do 3 things. 1. Subscribe. Next week, I'm bringing you the story of a man who didn't need 47 pages of bylaws. He just needed one satellite photo of his neighbor's backyard to prove that the pool the HOA had been charging maintenance fees for over 3 years didn't exist. 2. Comment. Have you ever actually read the CC&Rs where you live? Do you know your rights? Start today. 3. Share this video with anyone who lives in a managed community. Knowledge is the only weapon against an unchecked board. From a dusty stack of paper nobody touched to a complete overthrow, all it took was one person willing to read. What's the story in your neighborhood?